Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble HEROIC campaign guide, I'm going to take another look at the heroic Ysera encounter, now 6 months in and with several buffs to the encounter. So what has happened to the Ysera encounter over the last 6 months? There have been buffs to Moonglade first. First Moonglade was given armored, and then there was a bigger revamp. It was made cheaper and stats were adjusted. It's overall stronger mini now than it was, but that didn't really affect my old strategies. Then Onu was given a health buff, a pretty major health buff even, but that also actually didn't change the strategies at all. But now the latest change does have a bigger effect, and that's Spiderlings. The Spiderlings rework. Ysera has Spiderlings both in her deck, and then there's also these waves of Spiderlings that are being summoned. And Spiderlings are now a lot faster, and they also attack faster, so they're a lot more lethal. Also, their Explosion and Death talent, the Bloated Carapace, was buffed by a lot with a major damage increase and the ability to hit flying units, which it didn't do before, and Ysera Spiderlings are equipped with this. Although the big wave is not equipped with the talent, but the regular ones are. So this has caused some problems, and now I have updated the strategy so that you can counteract these. The Ysera encounter is the first defense battle in Warcraft Rumble. You need to hold on until Ysera wakes up. And Ysera is going to wake up at 0:35 on the clock, so the fight is a bit shorter than it first appears. Ysera has a different deck for normal and heroic, and this is Ysera's heroic deck. So Ysera has Chain Lightning with Storm's Reach. Then there's Fire Elemental. Fire Elemental actually has Blazing Speed talent from Fire Hammer, which doesn't do anything because Fire Elemental doesn't have Fury, so that's a mistake on Blizzard's part. Well, if they fix that sometime, then Fire Elemental could become even more of a threat. Now it's basically talentless. Then there's Harpies with Trinket Collectors, so the Harpies will mine. If you're not mining, then Ysera's Harpies will be mining. Moonglade has Vengeance, Prowler has On the Prowl, Raptors have Fast Food, which means that the Raptors will keep healing if you feed SWAT minis or small minis to them. And then there's Spiderlings with that Bloated Carapace, so the Spiderlings upon death, they are going to explode, deal a bunch of damage, do a short stun, and also poison the enemies. In addition to her deck, Ysera is also going to summon multiple timed minis, because there's going to be a lot of chimeras. Chimeras spawn in groups. There's first going to be one coming from the bottom, followed by two coming from the top right. So the first chimera at the bottom spawns at 3:15, and then at 3:00 there's going to be two from top right. And then again 2:30 from bottom, 2:15 from top right, 1:45 from the bottom, 1:30 from the top right, 1:00 from the bottom, and 0:45 from the top right. And in addition to chimeras, there's also going to be one big wave of Spiderlings that spawns at 1:47. But these do not have a talent, so they don't explode on death. So for these you can safely engage them. The general strategy that you're aiming for is to get many minis around the circle before the Spiderlings spawn, so that you would be able to counteract those as easily as possible. And I used to do this with Drake, with the Mother Drake talent, so that Drake was dropping Whelbex all over the place. But now the exploding Spiderlings, they will kill a level 24 Drake. Just a single group of 3 Spiderlings dying will kill a level 24 Drake from full health. And that makes it much harder to use the Drake with the Mother Drake talent. You might still be able to pull it off with a higher level Drake, but now you need more levels on that. So I have now moved on to doing this without the Drake and trying to find value trades so that I will have some minis. I don't have as many minis as before, but I will have some, and then I will be able to engage Spiderlings at my base as well, because they're so fast, they get there really quickly, so then they can be blown up at the base as well. And then there are those chimeras, and there's multiple ways to kill the chimeras. You can use Banshee to steal a chimera. Line of sight, I will show you the correct positioning for that. Then with the stolen chimera and polymorph, you can kill the group of 2 chimeras. You can also use Huntress to kill them. Level 25 Huntress in stealth is going to kill one and live through it. And then you can use polymorph to keep it alive against the other 2. Then you could use a Drake or a Witch Doctor, but then you have to polymorph the chimeras first and then drop the Drake or Witch Doctor. Or you could use Pyromancer. If Pyromancer is level 26 or higher and has the Pyroblast talent, it's going to one-shot a chimera. In general, Banshee remains the lowest level alternative, so you want to use line of sight to prevent the Banshee from getting hit twice. If the Chimera hits the Banshee twice, the Banshee will die. The position is something like this. You drop the Banshee right on the right, and when the Chimera is approaching, and then the Banshee and the Chimera will meet, and then the Chimera is like, oh my goodness, a Banshee, and Banshee's, yeah, I'll take you. And that's how you go. Huntress positioning depends on the Huntress levels. Generally, you want the Huntress to run the inner circle, especially if you have a low-level Huntress, and then you need to avoid damage either by letting the base tank the Chimera or to use another mini to distract the Chimera. The higher level your Huntress is, the less important the positioning becomes. Another important thing is the use of Whelpex. I like to drop Whelpec bombs in the circles, especially on the top left and near the middle of the circle, so that when a Moonkin arrives, they're going to pop and they're going to shoot the Moonkin before the Moonkin gets to shoot them, and they will survive. This worked before and this still works. Armored and Moonkin doesn't really affect this because it's elemental damage. And especially if you try to do this with low levels, you are going to need polymorph, and polymorph timing is really important. So just as Huntress is about to shoot, and if you use a Chimera, then near the end of this wave-like movement motion, the Chimera goes like this, whoa, whoa. And when it's near the end of the wave, it's right before it's going to start shooting, and that's when you want to polymorph it, so that you won't take any damage. So in this video, I'm going to showcase 5 kills of Ysera, and this is army for Malfurion. I have Malfurion and Orgrim, and then I have 3 regular leaders. So Malfurion and Orgrim, the split leaders, they're so powerful, they break the rules a little bit. Because, for example, Malfurion, it's possible to use a level 24 Huntress, because Malfurion is going to keep it alive. And then a level 24 Huntress is just fine able to deal with the Chimeras. And I'm using the Elven Might talent here, because I just want maximum damage output. Orgrim Doomhammer is another leader who breaks the rules a little bit, because here I'm using a level 24 Pyromancer with Pyroblast. But because Orgrim gives Pyromancer even more damage with the Pyroblast, that means that a level 24 is already able to one-shot the Chimeras. Whereas with regular leaders you will probably need a little bit more levels. I worked a little bit on doing this at 24 with some of these regular leaders. I almost got it, so I spent a few hours trying, and I think it is doable with around 24 on these leaders as well, but it requires very, very solid execution. And 25.9 level I did this with these, then that was already fairly simple. So here's a couple of different approaches I have on Charlga. So on Charlga I have the Banshee plus the Polymorph. So I'm going to steal the Chimera, I'm going to Polymorph the double Chimeras. I also have Trinket Collector Harpies here. So Trinket Collector Harpies are going to handle my mining. I don't need to use Cobalt Miner all that much. I do love those Whelpex on this one though. And then Witch Doctor is just so phenomenal. I also really like the Swole Troll with the Meteor Elbow talent, so the Swole Troll becomes a fighter and fights against the other minis. I think it's actually probably the best tank for this one. I could have used it in all comps, but I want to showcase a couple of different alternatives. So then here on Rivendare I still have the Banshee and I have the Polymorph. Here I'm also using the Pyromancer with Pyroblast, so Pyromancer can handle many of those Chimeras as well. And then on Tirion I'm using a Huntress, a level 26 Huntress, so a little bit more leeway there. And I'm also using the Pyromancer on this one, but I'm not using the Banshee here at all. So I have the Huntress plus the Polymorph that's going to be able to handle the Chimeras. And here I also have a Dark Iron Miner for some extra mining, because I just couldn't find the second Alliance mini that I liked for this specific encounter. Of course, if you use Malfurion, then that's going to cover Alliance for you. But just showcasing a little bit of different variations, a little bit different ways to tank this. I have the Swole Troll, I have the Ghoul, or I have the Tirion. A little bit different ways to handle the Chimeras. So I have the Banshee, I have the Pyromancer, I have the Huntress. Just small alterations of the same main plan, depending on the levels of your minis. So if you have some of these minis levels really high, then you will be able to use those in more of the comps and just succeed in the fight. And this is what it all looks like. 5 kills in action. So here we go, Heroic Ysera with Malfurion. So Heroic Ysera really reminds me of Onyxia in the way that you want to see what kind of opening hand does Ysera have, what is she going to do at the start, and then you practice your opener just to be able to match that, and then move away from there. So all of these have a couple of pulls at least behind them before I have managed to get them right. Even the high level ones, I think I did like 3 pulls or so, just to get a feel of the start. And here we have the proper Huntress positioning, Huntress running the inner curve. I don't actually remember if I do that every time. And here I'm using Bog Beast, so that Bog Beast will tank a little bit for the Huntress. So Huntress only gets hit by one of the Chimeras and not the other. One is going to hit the Bog Beast. And that just keeps the Huntress alive real nice there. And then we're going to try to fight against incoming threats. Well, Huntress against Moonkin is not that great right now because Moonkin is armored. So as you could see there, the Huntress had some more difficulties. But here again we're getting a Huntress for the incoming Chimera. And this time I would have some troops here already to fight against those Chimeras, but I don't think they're going to last. Nope. But Huntress is going to do fine. Just that Malfurion healing power. I do need to deploy another Malfurion though, because otherwise my heals are going to run out. Now we got the Malfurion out there in time. Another Moonkin is coming from down there, and then the Spiderling wave at 147. So here, as you can see, I don't have that many minis around the map. I tried to get something out there, but then I also have to fight them at my base. But because they're so fast, they all arrive at the base so incredibly quickly, so almost at the same time, then it's possible to fight them at the base a little bit as well. Also, your base can sometimes tank some of the lone chimeras. It will take a bunch of damage, but depending on the state of your base, tanking a lone chimera can be an option. It can be possible to just let the base tank one, but sometimes you can't afford it, so can be a little bit hard. Alright, so now this looks good. We survived the Spiderling wave, the base is still alive, and I don't see any immediate threats. We still have 20 more seconds to go, so there's one more Chimera that's going to come from down below, and then the double Chimeras from the top are not going to reach the base in time. So there's just that one Chimera coming. Actually, it's already dead, by the way. Oopsie. Died off screen. So yeah, that's that. Ysera down. Malfurion is the easiest leader to do this with. Then we have Warcraft Doomhammer, which I think is the second easiest right now. So my Warcraft opener has some Spiderlings and Raptors coming in, but Swole Troll, look at that Swole Troll. It's pretty tanky. I also tried to do it so that I would use a Shaman to heal the Troll, but that ended up spending too much gold. Here, correct positioning on the Banshee, and the Banshee steals the Chimera, and then I'm putting some Whelbex down, and oh my, there was a Moonkin, and the Whelbex just killed the Moonkin. I'm also dropping this Pyromancer here so that I will keep the Chimera at full health. Pyromancer positioning and timing didn't go fully as I wanted, so Pyromancer ended up taking some damage. It's very delicate business trying to have it take no damage at all. So another attack is coming, but look at that Swole Troll. There's 4 gold well spent. And when I'm playing with Ogrim, I like to try to steal the Onu. Because if I get to steal the Onu, Onu has so much health. And look at that Onu. Well, it still died though. But it was quite nice. Again, Banshee stealing the Chimera. So you really need to be aware of a lot of things happening, and there are Pyromancer killing those Chimeras. So a lot of things happen, there's a bunch of timers, you have to be aware of them, you have to be able to respond to them, get everything sorted out in time. And here we go, Swole Troll again. Meaning business. Another Onu coming, and the Spiderling wave is about to arrive. I figured that I might be able to mine a little bit up top, and then now the Spiderlings come to the base, I am just defending the base here. Obviously I'm fighting elsewhere as well, but I mean some of them will get through because I'm not able to get as good defenses as previously. But because they're so fast means that they arrive very simultaneously, and then you can just kill them. Swole Troll doing some defense against the Raptors. Now I failed to defend against the Chimeras a little. Just barely able to pull it off. Now I'm just wondering, what do I do? How do I make this base? Oh, come on. We already survived the Spiderling wave. Now is not the time to fail. Apparently it is the time to fail. I needed to put the Pyromancer to kill the Chimera, right? Maybe I did not. That was close. Alright, but anyway, those Chimeras are too late, they won't be able to shoot the base, so we're fine. And then to regular leaders, so here I'm doing this with Charlga, now with a couple of more levels. I spent a total of under 10 minutes getting this done with Charlga, with a little more levels. So obviously the difficulty goes down as levels go up. But still, you still need some knowledge, probably, of what Ysera is going to open up with. So a couple of pulls you probably will spend trying it out. I don't know, maybe you can just wing it. But here we go. This time we have the Trinket Collector Harpies. And now I'm ready with the Polymorph, and look at this. Chap. At the end of the wave motion, right before they would be able to start shooting. And clean kill from my Chimera. And here we can see those. Here we can see the power of those improved Spiderlings, because now I had the Whelpex shooting at them. But all the whelps died when the Spiderlings started exploding, so the whelps did not stay to kill Onu. Now we have Chimera coming from the south. Sadly lost the Witch Doctor, but okay, Banshee is able to come in. And Whelpex, and Whelpex will kill the Moonkin. Beautiful. Ready with the Polymorph. I lost the Swole Troll, but if I had polymorphed them earlier, my Polymorph, because it's pretty low level, it would not have lasted, and then the Chimera would not have been able to kill them. So that's just what needed to happen. Again, those Spiderlings dealing so much damage. Now the Spiderling wave arrives. I have some minis here and there, so I'm able to fight against some of them. And actually only one direction makes it all the way to the base, and then I'm able to fight against those at the base. Now, because I missed the timing window, I had to wait a little bit, and I messed it up, by the way. Ouch. So I had to wait a little bit longer. I had to wait until the Chimera would have shot at the base once, and then I would have been able to drop the Banshee. Because if you miss the timing window and the Chimera is already further up, then the Chimera will be able to see the Banshee, and then it will be able to shoot it twice and kill it. And we got to see what happens when that happens. But as you can see now, I have a little bit levels here, so I'm able to make some mistakes, and I can still win. If this was a level 24 attempt, then I would have died right there. I was a little bit impatient. I needed to wait until the Chimera shoots once, then deploy the Banshee. That's another way that you can do it. If you miss your first window of opportunity, then Banshee when the Chimera is committed, and it won't be able to shoot the Banshee. Now I just won. Okay, then on the Baron Rivendare. This was actually even faster than Charlga, so this went really well. I think I did one pull before or something, so that I didn't know what was coming. Yeah. And then we're going in with the Banshee again. And here we go in. Blasting a little bit. Fighting against the Fire Elemental. Too bad I lost the Witch Doctor. But the Ghoul is doing fine. Dropping in the Pyromancer, 26 plus with Pyroblast means that it one-shots. And you want to drop it there, actually in the middle of the right lane, so then it takes the least damage. That's the best way to handle that. And again, we had some things to fight there, but Spiderlings just explode stuff. Also, the fast food can be annoying on Raptors, because if Raptors get to eat something like Witch Doctor, then okay, they're just going to heal right back up. And here we go, the Banshee on the Chimera in the south, trying to fight up north. That Moonkin can be a little bit annoying. I try to get the Moonkins down with the Whelpex whenever I can, because that's just so much easier. Otherwise the Moonkin is going to stay back, and it's going to be a problem. There again, timing on the Polymorph, so that no shots are coming back against my Chimera. And more Spiderlings. Luckily Spiderlings are now dead, so no more stuns and AoE damage. And I actually have a fairly big group here. I have nothing on the... I'm using a Polymorph here so that I save my group. I don't let the Chimera kill them. And That allowed them to push through a little bit there, but it's gonna be fine actually. It's gonna be totally fine. While the ghoul is fighting against... Oh no. The double chimeras are coming, but I have the pyromancer, and look at that pyromancer getting the kills. Life's looking beautiful. Still some time left. I would need to get ready for the last chimera coming from south. One more chimera coming from south. I would need to be prepared. I do need to repel that push. Okay, now it's coming. And I could deploy a pyromancer to kill that if I wanted to, because the others won't make it in time. But I choose to use a banshee anyway. And yeah, this Rivendare fight, this went really smoothly. But again, it's also about levels. And boom, and that's a win. And finally, I wanted to do a Tirion clear because I really wanted to show the Huntress in action. This was actually my hardest of these higher level clears. I had not practiced with the Huntress that much, so that ended up being a problem. Yeah, that timing and positioning. I should have waited until the Chimera is close and then used the inner circle so that the Huntress would have a shorter path to run. So I had not practiced that for this one properly. I guess that contributed a little bit. But here, very nice. Polymorph, Huntress gets the kill. Still, things going reasonably clean, and look at that Huntress killing the Harpies too, that's beautiful. Now there's a bunch of those Spiderlings coming again, but Tirion will tank them. Tirion with the Divine Shield. Divine Shield is often going to proc already after killing some Spiderlings, because, yeah, Spiderlings hard. I'm a little bit impatient with the Huntress, but level 26 Huntress allows me to just do things that I wouldn't be able to do with a lower level Huntress. There my Huntress is rolling. Bunch of stuff coming. I need to wait a little bit to get the kills with... Yes, exactly like this. And using a polymorph there too, that's beautiful. So, minimizing the damage to the base, getting the kills. Looks good. Alright. We have a lot of stuff going around, and now the Spiderlings are arriving, but are any Spiderlings? There's some Spiderlings make it to the base. But, yeah, Pyromancer defended well against those. Everything's looking good. I actually missed that. I already killed that. I already killed that one. Now I'm messing things up. I was expecting like the Chimera from the south, but there was no Chimera coming from the south. It's already dead. I needed to just play completely differently there. But looks like I might be able to pull it off anyway. Now the base is taking so much damage though. Yikes. And the Prowler, and those Prowlers deal so much damage too. But this is the final Chimera. This is the last pit. That Chimera and that Onu from the north, and then we're done. Just kill the Onu. Yes, okay. So I messed up a little bit because I lost my timings. I didn't realize that the south Chimera was already dead and the next ones were coming from the top. But thanks to levels, I was able to recover from that anyway. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.